When Sony send an invite to an event, it's most likely for something juicy. Today, it's a basic model apparently, so how juicy can a basic model be?
So here we are in the freezing cold and it's snowing, and this is the new Sony a7 III, as they call it, the basic model, the bread and butter model. They didn't call it that, I called it that, and I'm glad that they didn't can this. The word basic implies a certain dullness, and certainly is not specialised like the sporty A9, high-resolution A7R III, or the video-orientated S. But these are the models that matter. Hello. These get... These are accessible, these are more affordable, these get people taking photos and taking more video, and that's what matters. When the OG A7 and A7R first came out, I went for the A7 because I wanted full frame, no bells and whistles, and I'm also a cheapskate. But then after that, I upgraded to the A7R II because the A7 II was a bit dull. But now, we've got the A7 III, and this looks far from a dull camera. When it comes to the body, they're far from cheaped out on it. In fact, it looks pretty much similar to the A9 and A7R III. It's got the bigger grip, and also when we open this flap here, if I can open it with my freezing cold fingers, ooh, dual card slots. Wow, bloody wee. That is a big feature right there. And then flip it over to show its arse, open the flap, we've got a bigger battery. 710 shots if you used this screen here. If you used viewfinder, 610 shots. But still, that's more. Obviously it's more than the A7 II, but that's more than the shots you'll get with the A9, and it's the same battery. Then you've got the joystick nipply thing here. You've got this screen with touch functionality. And then you've got T asterisk on your viewfinder, which is always handy. I've always wanted a T asterisk with my viewfinder. They're great. Better than the S asterisk.
It's not all superficial upgrades though, because what's lurking beneath is quite a solid set of improvements.
Alright, camera in hand, let's go check out what subjects Sony have organised for us. Surely there's nothing else. Oh, there's something outside. Let's go harass that guy. So just checking, you are the model, you're not just some guy vaping. Today, really honoured to have a vaping expert all the way from Germany. Yeah. Here we go. Vaping action.
It has 693 autofocus points, 93% coverage. It's 2 times faster apparently. It does feel decent, although hardly a testing subject.
Okay, now I'm going to take some slow motion video.
The 5-axis stabilization is half a stop better, at 5 stops than the A7 II, useful for video, and it does shoot pretty decent video now.
And can you do one more thing? Can you do vape nation? So it'll be vape nation, like that. Oh man, brilliant.
It shoots 4K too, but we'll come to that later because I'm freezing my tits off here.
Okay, let's go find something not in the freezing cold outdoors. Oh God, could cut diamonds with my nipples right now. That's a lot of pink. So yes, it's got a new back-illuminated 24.2 megapixel sensor with 15 stops of dynamic range. It's alright, isn't it? I guess all these whites and colours should be a test for the dynamic range. I guess that's the thinking. Either that, I'm just taking photos of the buffet table.
The A7 II wasn't great for video. The 3 actually is a good 4K camera now with 14 stops dynamic range apparently, and the colours are looking good enough to eat. Anyway, let's go before I get tempted by diabetes.
Well posh.
The A7 II wasn't exactly the low light performer of the bunch, although not terrible. With back-illuminated sensor, this should improve its performance.
with the A7 III, you've got more juice. It goes up to ISO 204,800.
These are all JPEGs, by the way, and I think even when taking up to stratospheric ISOs, it still looks pretty clean. Expose it correctly and I don't see why you can't get usable files at ISO 25,600.
And then you've got 10 FPS burst rate. It's 2 times more than before, and half that of the A9, which is not bad. 10 FPS.
It won't keep up with the A9, I mean, there weren't any sports to shoot anyway. It's good enough for this stuff. The IAF works in continuous shooting now, which you didn't get with the A7 II. And the video on the A7 III does look good, with S-Log 2 and 3 as well as HDR. It's better for video than the more expensive A9. It's not a high resolution camera, but I'm liking what I see. Although these are JPEGs, dynamic range is pretty solid. Skin colors are looking great too. For basic model, whatever they call it, full frame 10 FPS is not basic. A Nikon D850 does 9 max. If you want to reach the double digit mark with a full frame DSLR, you have to go for the flagships. And they've just released a flash also that might come in handy.
Do you want to introduce yourself on camera?
Yeah, sure.
Pro wedding photographyist.
Hi, my name's Will Steven from Neve Studios. I'm a pro wedding photographer and commercial advertising photographer as well.
We haven't met before.
No, we haven't, no.
But we look like a really crap boy band at the minute.
So true. Hang on.
Okay, this won't keep up with 10 FPS, right?
It does, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Go for it.
You don't have epilepsy or anything, do you? I hope.
Is she even alive? Oh yeah, she blinked.
Okay, watch this. Hang on. Let me just check it's on burst mode. I'll look stupid if. Rave. It's brilliant. Buffer of 177 shots, I think, something like that, which is not bad.
Nice and punchy.
Nice and punchy.
Digging the camera.
10F, yeah. I mean, they call it basic model, but it's pretty good.
Like a baby A9.
Yeah, totally.
The word basic conjures up images of something at the lowest possible level, something that is without frills or features worthy of note. For me, the A7 and also the A7 II were basic full-frame models. The new A7 III is only basic in the sense that it's the lowest price of the Sony full-frame mirrorless cameras. It might be the entry level in terms of price, but in terms of features, this is a camera that you possibly don't need to step up from for quite some time. With the Sony A7 Mark III, they've redefined the meaning of basic. This is a basic camera that is not so basic.